You think she has moved on because she stopped texting you. You think she has moved on because she looks fine online. You think she has moved on because she is posting, smiling, going out, replying cold, acting distant, maybe even giving attention to someone else. And because you are hurting, your mind takes every small sign and turns it into a full story. You see one picture and your chest drops. You see one story and suddenly you imagine she is happier without you. You see her online but not messaging you, and your mind says, she forgot me. You see her act normal, and your ego whispers, you meant nothing. But listen carefully, just because she looks moved on does not mean she is healed. Just because she is silent does not mean she feels nothing. And just because she is distracting herself does not mean you should chase her. That is where most men lose. They see her acting cold and they panic. They see her posting and they react. They see her talking to someone else and they compare. They see her silence and they start begging for answers from a woman who is not giving clarity. And the moment you chase her because you are afraid she moved on, you make yourself look like the man who still has no control over his emotions. That is not power, that is fear with a phone in its hand. The first thing you need to understand is this: after a breakup, people do not always move on in a straight line. Sometimes they distract themselves. Sometimes they act strong. Sometimes they hide pain behind attention. Sometimes they convince themselves they are done. Sometimes they test life without you. Sometimes they compare. Sometimes they avoid feelings. Sometimes they remember you at night and still refuse to reach out in the morning. But none of that changes your job. Your job is not to decode every move she makes. Your job is to stop losing yourself while she figures herself out. That is the real message. A man does not regain respect by chasing. He regains power by staying calm, stepping back, controlling his emotions, rebuilding his life, and letting his actions speak louder than his words. The goal is not to manipulate her into returning. The goal is not to prove she still cares. The goal is not to make her jealous. The goal is not to sit there waiting for her regret. The goal is to become a man who no longer collapses when someone walks away. Because if you think she has moved on and your first reaction is to panic, you are showing yourself that her behavior still controls your identity. That is what needs to change. Maybe she has moved on. Maybe she is not. Maybe she misses you. Maybe she is distracting herself. Maybe she is testing her own feelings. Maybe she is trying to prove to herself that she does not care. Maybe she is with someone else because being alone makes her face too much. Maybe she is genuinely done. You do not know, and because you do not know, you must not build your life around guesses. A weak man sees uncertainty and chases. A strong man sees uncertainty and returns to his standards. That is the difference. When you think she has moved on, the first mistake is checking more. You check her stories. You check who liked her post. You check if she followed someone new. You check if she is online. You check if she watched your story. You check if she looks happy. You check if she is wearing something different. You check if there is a hidden message in her caption. You check until your whole nervous system is tired. And what does it give you? Not peace. More questions checking does not heal you, it feeds the wound. You think you are looking for information, but most of the time you are looking for pain. You are trying to prove something your heart already fears. You are trying to find evidence that she forgot you or evidence that she misses you, but either way, you are still making her life the center of your emotional world. That is hidden chasing. You may not text her, but you are still chasing through attention, and attention is energy. Where your attention goes, your power follows. If your attention is on her profile, her mood, her new life, her possible man, her possible regret, her possible feelings, then your power is not with you. It is still sitting in her world. Take it back. Your body needs you. Your work needs you. Your money needs you. Your sleep needs you. Your discipline needs you. Your faith needs you. Your future needs you. Stop giving your strongest energy to a woman who is giving you uncertainty. That is not hate. That is self respect. Now, what is she really doing? Sometimes she is trying to prove to herself that she is fine. This is common after emotional separation. A person can post more, go out more, look happier, talk louder, and act like nothing touched them because silence feels too honest. If she slows down, she may have to feel the weight of what happened. If she sits alone, she may remember you. If she stops distracting herself, the truth may start speaking, so she stays busy, she posts, she laughs, she acts cold, she tells herself she is okay, and from the outside you think she moved on. But sometimes what you are seeing is not peace. It is performance. But do not let that make you chase. Because if she is performing strength, your chasing will only feed the performance. It gives her proof that she still has access to your emotions. It lets her feel powerful without having to face anything. It tells her that even while she is distant, you are still emotionally waiting. Do not give that away. Let her perform if she wants to perform. Let her distract if she wants to distract. Let her create whatever image she wants online. You stay grounded because your strength is not measured by how accurately you understand her behavior. Your strength is measured by how well you control your own. That is what matters. Sometimes she has not moved on. She is comparing. She may compare the silence to the attention you used to give. She may compare new conversations to the comfort she had with you. She may compare excitement to safety. She may compare someone else's compliments to your consistency. She may compare the freedom she wanted to the loneliness she did not expect. But do not become addicted to imagining that. Do not sit there thinking, I hope she compares him to me. I hope she realizes. I hope she regrets it. That mindset keeps you trapped because if your healing depends on her comparison, you are still not free. A free man does not need another man to disappoint her in order to know his worth. A free man does not need her regret to validate what he brought. A free man does not spend his life waiting for a woman to discover his value after leaving. He already knows his value. And because he knows it, he does not compete. If she chooses someone else, let her choose. If she wants distance, let her experience distance. If she wants life without your presence, let her feel life without your presence. Do not interrupt reality with desperation. Because if you chase her while she is testing life without you, you keep softening the consequence of her choice. You keep showing her that she can step away and still have your attention in the background. You keep making yourself emotionally available while she gives you distance. That is not love, that is self abandonment. A man with standards does not become the emotional backup plan. If she moved on, let her move. If she is pretending, let her pretend. If she is confused, let her sit with confusion. You do not need to rescue her from the experience she chose. That is not cruelty, that is maturity. Sometimes what she is really doing is protecting her ego. She may not reach out because reaching out would feel like admitting she misses you. She may act cold because warmth would make her feel vulnerable. She may post like she is happy because looking hurt would feel like losing. She may avoid your name because your name brings emotions she does not want to face. Pride can keep people silent. But again, do not make her pride your problem. If she is proud, chasing her only rewards the pride. If she refuses to communicate honestly, chasing teaches her that she can stay silent and you will do the emotional work for both people. If she wants you to break first just so she can feel chosen, chasing puts you back in the weak position. A mature connection cannot be built on one person's anxiety. If she values the connection, she can also show effort. If she misses you, she can also communicate. If she wants repair, she can bring clarity. You are not responsible for carrying both sides of the bridge. That line matters. You are not responsible for carrying both sides of the bridge. A relationship takes two people, not one anxious man doing all the emotional labor while calling it love. So when you think she has moved on, stop asking, what is she doing? Ask, what am I doing? Am I checking? Am I chasing? Am I comparing? Am I waiting? Am I building? Am I sleeping properly? Am I training? Am I working? Am I protecting my peace? Am I becoming a man I respect? Those questions bring your power back because the more you focus on what she is doing, the more helpless you feel. The more you focus on what you can control, the stronger you become. Now, let us talk about the man who wants to text late at night. He is sitting in his room. He has seen something that hurt him. Maybe she posted a picture. Maybe she looked happy. Maybe she was with friends. Maybe he thinks he saw a man in the background. Maybe she ignored his story. Maybe she did not check his profile. And now his mind is creating a movie. She is gone. She forgot me. She replaced me. She never cared. I need to do something. So he opens a chat. He types, I hope you're doing okay. But that is not what he really wants to say. What he really means is, please show me I still matter. He types, can we talk? But what he really means is, please give me relief from this anxiety. He types, I just need closure. But what he really means is, please open the door again. A strong man tells himself the truth before he acts. He says, I want a message because I am scared. Then he does not send from fear. He puts the phone down, he walks, he trains. He writes the message in notes but does not send it. He prays if faith is part of his life. He sleeps. He lets the emotional wave rise and fall without obeying it. Pain can be felt without being followed. That line matters. Pain can be felt without being followed. You can miss her and still not text. You can care and still not chase. You can feel replaced and still not compare. You can want answers and still not reopen the wound. That is emotional control. And emotional control is what separates a man who is healing from a man who is just reacting quietly. Because if one post can make you text, she still controls your hand. If one story can ruin your night, she still controls your peace. If one rumor can make you spiral, she still controls your center. That is what must change. Now, what if she really has moved on? Then your chasing will not help. What if she has not moved on? Your chasing still will not help. In both cases, chasing makes you weaker. If she is done, chasing confirms that you cannot accept reality. If she is unsure, chasing removes the space she needs to feel your absence. If she is testing life without you, chasing makes your presence cheap. If she is distracting herself, chasing gives her emotional comfort without accountability. If she is with someone else, chasing turns you into competition. And a self respecting man does not compete for a woman who is choosing distance. He lets reality speak. If she wanted life without him, he gives her life without him. If she thought moving on would be easy, he does not argue. If she thought he would chase, he does not prove her right. He steps back and builds. That is the answer. Now, silence only works when it comes from self respect, not fake games. If you go silent just to make her panic, she still controls your silence. If you go silent while counting the days, she still controls your silence. If you go silent but secretly post to get her attention, she still controls your silence. If you go silent but check every move she makes, she still controls your silence. Real silence is not about making her react. Real silence is about ending the version of you that reacts to everything. That is the deeper work. The old version of you needed signs. The new version needs standards. The old version needed her reply. The new version needs peace. The old version wanted to be chosen. The new version chooses himself first. The old version said, "What is she doing?" The new version says, "What am I becoming?" That is transformation. And whether she has moved on or not, that transformation is the only thing that protects you. Because if she comes back and you are still the same man, you will lose yourself again. If she stays gone and you are still the same man, you will stay stuck. If she reaches out and you are still starving, you will collapse into the first soft message. If she posts with someone else and you are still insecure, you will compare yourself into weakness. So you must become different, not for her, for you. Now, here is your practical reset. For the next 7 days, do not message her first from panic. Do not check her stories. Do not ask mutual friends about her. Do not post to get her attention. Do not check who she follows. Do not look for signs that she moved on. Do not make emotional decisions at night. Do not reread old messages until your chest hurts. Do not send a soft message when what you really want is reassurance. Put that energy into training, work, money, sleep, discipline, faith, emotional control, and rebuilding your identity. Train your body even when your mind is heavy. Clean your space even when your emotions feel messy. Fix your sleep because tired men make weak decisions. Eat properly because heartbreak drains your focus. Walk when the urge to check hits. Brought what you want to say, but do not send it from panic. Put your phone away before midnight. Build your day before your emotions build it for you. This is not about pretending you do not care. It is about proving that her life does not own you. Every time you do not check, you rebuild control. Every time you do not compare, you rebuild confidence. Every time you do not chase, you rebuild dignity. Every time you keep your routine while hurting, you become stronger. Confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself. You said you would not chase. Do not chase. You said you would not check. Do not check. You said you would not abandon your standards. Do not abandon them. That is how a man becomes solid, and a solid man is not easily pulled into chaos. Now, what is she really doing when she looks happy? Maybe she is happy. Maybe she's distracting herself. Maybe she's trying to convince herself. Maybe she's enjoying attention. Maybe she's avoiding pain. Maybe she is genuinely moving on. But here is the truth: her happiness is not your emergency. That may sound hard, but it will free you. Her posting is not your emergency. Her silence is not your emergency. Her new attention is not your emergency. Her mood is not your emergency. Your emergency is your own lack of control. Your emergency is the fact that one story can break your focus. Your emergency is the fact that one rumor can destroy your sleep. Your emergency is the fact that one woman's distance can make you question your entire worth. Fix that, because even if she came back today, if that part of you is not fixed, you would still be weak. You would still fear losing her. You would still overthink. You would still become anxious when she gets busy. You would still treat her attention like oxygen. The real problem is not only that she might have moved on, the real problem is that you have not fully moved back into yourself. That is the work. Come back to yourself, come back to your body, come back to your routine, come back to your goals, come back to your standards, come back to your peace, come back to the man you were supposed to become before heartbreak made you forget him. Now, sometimes she is testing your absence, not always consciously, but she may notice you stop reacting. She may notice you stopped watching. She may notice you stopped sending. She may notice the old emotional access is gone. She may wonder if you still care. She may send something small just to see if the door is open. This is where most men fail. They survive silence, but they do not survive her return. She sends hey, and the old man wakes up. He replies too fast, he writes too much. He asks if she misses him. He tries to force clarity. He pours months of pain into one conversation. He acts like he has been waiting by the phone the whole time. And she feels it. She feels the hunger. She feels the old weakness. She feels that his silence was not growth, it was waiting. Do not be that man. A small message is not a full return. A hey is not accountability. And I miss you is not changed behavior. A late night text is not emotional maturity. A story view is not love. A woman touching the door is not the same as a woman walking through it with clarity. If she says, hey, you can say, hey, hope you're doing well. That is enough. If she says, I miss you, you can say, I hear you. What made you reach out? If she says, I've been thinking about us, you can say, I understand. What do you want to do with that? If she says, can we talk? You can say, we can talk, but I am not rushing back into anything. These are not games. They are calm boundaries. They show openness without desperation. They invite clarity without begging. They protect your peace without attacking her. A real return can handle patience. A fake return usually cannot. If she genuinely wants to reconnect, she will respect your pace. If she only wants emotional access, she may disappear when she realizes you are not easy anymore. Let that happen. You need truth more than temporary comfort, because temporary comfort can pull you back into the same cycle that broke you. Truth sets you free. Now, what if she says, I've moved on, believe her enough to step back? Do not argue. Do not ask if she really means it. Do not beg for another chance. Do not send a speech about everything you did for her. Do not try to prove that she will regret it. A man with dignity does not debate someone into choosing him. If she says she has moved on, you can say, I understand, I wish you well. Then you walk not as a performance, not hoping she chases, not secretly waiting for her to panic. You walk because you respect reality even when it hurts. That is strength. A weak man fights reality because fantasy feels better. A strong man accepts reality because dignity matters more. And sometimes acceptance is what finally gives you peace. Now, what if she has moved on with someone else? That can hurt deeply, but do not compete. Do not compare your body, your money, your looks, your status, your lifestyle, your personality, your history. Do not check him. Do not study him. Do not turn another man into the measure of your value. If she chose him, let her choose. If she wants that experience, let her have it. If he is better for her, chasing will not help. If he is not better for her, chasing still will not help. In both cases, your move is the same step back and build, because the moment you compete, you lower yourself into a contest you should never enter. A self respecting man does not stand beside another man saying, pick me. He stands in his own life and says, I choose myself. That is power. Now, maybe she will compare him to you one day. Maybe she will remember how you treated her. Maybe she will miss the comfort. Maybe she will realize excitement is not the same as safety. Maybe she will realize attention is not the same as loyalty. Maybe she will realize moving on was not as simple as she thought, maybe. But you cannot build your life around maybe. Maybe it will keep you waiting. Maybe it will keep you checking. Maybe it will keep you weak. Truth is better. And the truth is simple. Right now, she's not choosing you clearly. So you choose yourself clearly. That is the move. Now, there is another possibility. She may not be moved on. She may be waiting for you to break. Maybe she wants to see if you will chase. Maybe she wants proof that you still care. Maybe she wants to feel powerful by watching you reach. Maybe she is silent because she believes you will eventually panic. Do not prove that pattern, right? If she wants communication, she can communicate. If she wants repair, she can bring clarity. If she wants connection, she can meet you with effort. You are not required to become weak just to prove your feelings are real. A healthy woman does not need you to abandon your dignity to prove love. A healthy connection does not require one man to beg while the other person stays vague. So do not chase tests. If she is testing you with silence, pass by not reacting. If she is testing your availability, pass by keeping your life moving. If she is testing whether she still controls your emotions, pass by staying calm. But do not become cold, become grounded. Cold says, I do not care, while secretly caring too much. Grounded says, I care, but I am choosing peace. Cold wants revenge. Grounded wants truth. Cold performs strength. Grounded lives it. Be grounded. Now, let us talk about why women sometimes appear to move on quickly. Sometimes people emotionally detach before the relationship officially ends. Maybe she started pulling away earlier than you realized. Maybe she had already been processing doubts while you were still trying to fix things. Maybe by the time she left, she had already told herself a story that made leaving easier. That can feel unfair because for you, the breakup begins when she leaves. For her, it may have started quietly weeks or months before. But even if that is true, chasing still does not help. If she had time to detach, your panic will not reattach her. If she built a story in her mind, your begging will not rewrite it. If she convinced herself she is better without you, your over explaining will not create respect. Only time, reality, and your own growth can shift the energy. And even then, there are no guarantees. That is why your focus must be on what you control. You control whether you chase, you control whether you check, you control whether you train, you control whether you sleep, you control whether you work, you control whether you keep your dignity, you control whether you become bitter or better. Control what is yours, rest what is not. That is masculine maturity. Now, if you made mistakes, own them. This is important. Do not use self respect as an excuse to avoid responsibility. If you lied, disrespected her, betrayed trust, acted immaturely, overreacted, or hurt her deeply, then part of becoming a man is owning that without begging. A clean apology is strong, begging is not. You can say, I understand where I hurt you. I take responsibility for that. I am working on myself, and I respect your space. Then step back. Do not keep apologizing every week because you want relief. Do not use apology as a hook. Do not turn accountability into emotional pressure. One sincere apology is maturity. Repeated apologies used to pull her back or just chasing in a softer voice. Now the difference. Now, if she hurt you, stop waiting for an apology before you rebuild. Maybe she apologizes one day. Maybe she does not. Maybe she realizes what she did. Maybe she never admits it. Your healing cannot depend on her emotional maturity. That gives her too much power. A strong man can say, I know what happened. I know what it cost me. I know where I participated. I know what I will not accept again. And I will rebuild whether she validates my pain or not. That is freedom because sometimes closure is not a conversation. Sometimes closure is your own decision to stop reopening the wound. Sometimes closure is when you stop checking. Sometimes closure is when you stop explaining. Sometimes closure is when you stop waiting for someone to become the person you needed them to be. Sometimes closure is silence, not because it feels good, because it is honest. Now, what if she is really doing nothing? What if she is not thinking about you as much as you think? What if she is simply living? That possibility hurts the ego, but it can also free you because if she is simply living, then why are you not? Why is your life paused? Why is your routine broken? Why is your sleep destroyed? Why is your work suffering? Why is your body neglected? Why is your mind locked on someone who is not choosing you clearly? That is the wake up call. Her life may be moving. Yours must move too, not to compete, not to show her, not to make her jealous, because your life belongs to you. A man with direction does not wait for emotional permission to build, he builds while hurting. He trains while confused. He works while disappointed. He sleeps because he respects his mind. He eats because he respects his body. He prays or reflects because he needs steadiness. He grows because his future requires him. That is how you become stronger. Not by pretending you are not hurt, by refusing to let hurt lead. Now, if you still love her, do not shame yourself. Love does not disappear instantly. Attachment does not shut off because you decide to be strong. Missing her does not make you weak. Wanting her does not make you weak. Feeling pain does not make you weak. The weakness is not feeling. The weakness is obeying every feeling. A man can feel everything and still choose dignity. He can miss her and still not text. He can love her and still step back. He can remember the good times and still respect the pattern. He can forgive and still not rush trust. He can hope and still keep standards. That is emotional maturity. Now, ask yourself the question that cuts through everything. Do you want her back because she is good for your peace? Or do you want her back because being chosen again would repair your ego? Do you miss her character? Or do you miss the version of yourself you felt like when she wanted you? Do you want a healthy relationship? Or do you want proof that you were enough? These questions matter because sometimes a man does not want the woman back. He wants the rejection reversed. He wants the silence to end. He wants the pain to stop. He wants one message to prove he still matters. But that is not love. That is the wound asking for validation. Real love cannot grow where self respect is missing. If she comes back with clarity and respect, listen. If she comes back with confusion, step back. If she never comes back, keep walking because the goal is not to be chosen by someone who left. The goal is to become a man who never abandons himself when someone leaves. That is the real transformation. Now, if you think she has moved on, do not let that thought make you small. Do not beg. Do not compare. Do not attack. Do not stalk. Do not turn bitter. Do not start hating women because one woman chose distance. Do not let heartbreak make you childish. A masculine man does not need to destroy someone to recover from them. He does not need revenge to feel powerful. He does not need her to fail to feel valuable. He does not need another man to lose so he can win. He needs direction. A free man does not say, I hope she suffers. He says, I hope I never abandon myself like that again. That is the higher path. A weak man turns heartbreak into bitterness. A strong man turns heartbreak into standards. A weak man tries to prove he is missed. A strong man builds a life he respects. A weak man asks, is she moved on? A strong man asks, why am I still standing still? That question should hit you. Why are you still standing still? Your future is not waiting for her permission. Your body is not waiting for her text. Your money is not waiting for her apology. Your discipline is not waiting for her regret. Your peace is not waiting for her return. Start moving. Now, if she reaches out after you stop chasing, remember the rule. Do not reply like a man who is waiting. Reply like a man who is building. That means you do not punish, but you do not collapse. You do not act cold, but you do not overinvest. You do not flood her with emotion, but you do not fake indifference. You stay calm. You let her intention become clear. If she brings clarity, listen. If she brings accountability, observe. If she brings consistency, move slowly. If she brings confusion, step back. If she disappears again, keep walking because your peace is not for sale. Your dignity is not a bargaining chip. Your self respect is not something you trade for one more conversation. Now, maybe she really has moved on. Let that hurt, but do not let it control you. Maybe she has not moved on. Let that be possible, but do not let it trap you. Maybe she is somewhere in the middle, confused, distracted, proud, curious, hurt, avoiding, testing, healing, running. Let that be her process. You have your own. Your process is discipline. Your process is emotional control. Your process is rebuilding. Your process is accepting reality without begging. Your process is becoming a man whose life does not collapse because someone else became uncertain. That is power. Tonight, when your mind tells you to check if she has moved on, do not check. When your ego wants proof that she misses you, do not search for proof. When your heart wants to send one small message, do not send from panic. When jealousy tells you to compare, come back to yourself, put the phone down, stand up, drink water, walk, train, pray, work, build. Do one thing that makes tomorrow better because discipline is how a man tells heartbreak, you can hurt me, but you cannot lead me. That is the man she may not expect, not the man who begged, not the man who folded, not the man who stalked her life because he was afraid she forgot him, the man who hurt but stayed composed, the man who cared but did not abandon himself, the man who wanted her but did not make her movement the measure of his worth, the man who turned uncertainty into discipline, silence into standards, and lost into direction, that man is hard to manipulate. That man is hard to replace. That man is free. So remember this: you think she has moved on. Maybe she has. Maybe she is not. Maybe she is distracting herself. Maybe she is protecting her ego. Maybe she is testing life without you. Maybe she is comparing. Maybe she is avoiding pain. Maybe she is genuinely done. But none of that changes what you must do. Do not chase. Do not check. Do not compare. Do not beg. Do not become emotional backup. Do not make her life the center of your healing. Take your energy back. Build your body. Build your mind. Build your money. Build your peace. Build your discipline. Build your direction. Become a man whose self respect is stronger than his fear of being forgotten. Because the deepest truth is this: the goal is not to prove she has not moved on. The goal is to become so grounded that even if she has, you do not lose yourself trying to stop it.